Today I want to look at a brief introduction to academic research. It's an academic research quick bit. Right, so the first question is, what is research? It's an investigation into something. So in this case, your teacher would want you to investigate a subject or question about an event or topic, and once you've done that, then give your opinion. Why would you research something? Essentially, it's to give you information about your subject. What you find out will give you support, it will add support to your ideas. When you look into research from other experts, it also gives your idea more weight, and it shows that you understand the whys and wherefores, and that you've made a judgment call on what you've learned from those experts and or those who have studied in the field. And that's going to make you a little bit of an expert too. Question I get asked often is, where do I start with research? Well, a lot of people say don't use Wikipedia, but I say it's a really good place to begin with because it's got such a huge amount of information there. What you must not do is quote it. You mustn't quote Wikipedia. Look for related keywords and check out the links on the page. That's going to give you a general idea of what might be helpful to you, and follow those links. Now again, you should never quote it because it's alterable by anybody with an internet connection, and that could mean the information on there is unreliable. However, you do get references at the end of most articles, and so you can see whether or not the information is genuine, and you can also go directly to that source for more details on the subject. Now, how do you know if what you read is any good? Right, well, when you've got some articles that you think might relate to your subject, read the abstracts, and they will give you a good idea of whether it's of use to you or not. If not, then look elsewhere. Don't waste your time with the article. Let's give it a go with a nice, happy topic. A good subject to start with is something that's a little bit controversial. So you've got extremes. You've got people who believe one side and people who believe another. So let's talk about euthanasia. All right. So if the question here is something like, some terminally ill patients don't want to put their loved ones through the trauma of watching them slowly deteriorate and die in pain. Therefore, euthanasia should be an available option. So think about that, and think of what's the operative word there. What's the main word that we're looking at? Of course, it's euthanasia. So what does euthanasia mean? It's the act of deliberately ending a person's life to relieve suffering. Now, it's a good idea to give a brief description or definition of what it is you're looking at. So if it's something like euthanasia, then give the term's definition because it's specific. So look at that again. What's the operative phrase there? Right, it's ending a person's life to relieve suffering. So the British House of Lords Select Committee on Medical Ethics defines euthanasia as a deliberate intervention undertaken with the express intention of ending a life to relieve intractable suffering. Now, intractable means that you can't manage it, you're unable to fight it. So what we need to look at here is, what are the reasons against it and what are the reasons for it? Now, before we can make an educated response, we need to find more information. If we don't, then we might not have all the facts that could influence our stance on it, and this is where we do our research. Okay, so what we're going to do here is start with Wikipedia. Again, I can't stress this enough, never reference Wikipedia. All right, so if we do a quick search here for euthanasia, right, okay, there it comes, top of the list on Wikipedia. What you can do, you can have a quick read through the article, so you've got a general idea of what euthanasia is, and all the way through the article you're going to see little blue highlighted parts where people have made references to it or people have written articles on it. So what you can do is, if you scroll down to the bottom, or if you click on a number, it's going to take you directly to the bottom to the references. So once you're down there, what you can, if you have a quick read through, you can see here, let's have a look at this one. All right, okay, down here. We can also see this is a quantitative analysis because it tells us so here. So if you can see the little arrow pointing to there. All right, so when we look a little bit further on there, it's even got a DOI, which is a digital object identifier. Okay, so if you click on that DOI, it's going to take you directly to the site. So what could be simpler? So there you go, you've gone to Wikipedia, you've found a source that you want, you're going to click on it and it takes you directly to the site. Now, when you've got a site like the BMJ, the first page on there gives us all the info to see whether we want to use it or not. So you could click on that and you can read the abstract, the design, the results and the conclusion. There's also a page just underneath that for article info, which is very handy indeed. So the authors, now you might want to see if they've written anything else as well. It's even got an email address and it shows you how to cite it. But what you have to be careful of here is that it does match up with the style that your institution or your university makes. So make sure that you do make the changes to your style. Don't forget, I will post more in-depth clips later so that you can get more involved in it, and I'll be running workshops at some point in the future too. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notified when I drop other clips or interviews. If you have any questions, you can DM me or throw a comment in here and I will answer all the questions that I posted.